Hi guys, we are the Group 6, and our report is all about the sexual self. I am Hazel, and I am the first reporter. My first report is the development of secondary sex characteristics in the human reproductive system. Soon, after the fertilization of an egg, the development of the reproductive system begins. For example, approximately 1 month after conception, primordial gonals also begin to develop. Rapid reproductive development happens inside the mother's womb. But when the child is born until he or she reaches puberty, there is little change in the reproductive system. For example, after mag-sex ng babae at lalaki, dalawa lang naman yan mabubuntis ang babae o hindi. At para mangyari yon, kailangan mag-meet ang sperm cell ng lalaki at ang egg cell ng babae sa fallopian tube. And after that, magkakaroon ng fertilization of egg. Pero hindi agad magkakaroon ng body parts ang baby Kaya meron tayong 1 to 9 months para doon magkaroon ng step-by-step process. Hindi yung kinabukasan, mabubuntis ang babae, bukas magkakaroon na agad ng body parts ang baby at sunod na araw manganganak na agad. Walang ganun. So syempre, hindi naman forever nasa tiyan ng mommy ang baby. So after 9 months, makikita na natin na kumpleto na ang body parts ng baby at meron na rin itong reproductive structures. Pero dahil walang forever, hindi rin tayo forever baby. Dadaan tayo sa tinatawag na puberty. Sa puberty, nagkakaroon na ng pagbabago. Sa lalaki, makikita mo na nagiging wide na ang kanilang mga shoulders. Nagkakaroon na ng muscles at nagiging mababa na ang mga boses nila. Nagbibinata kumbaga. At sa babae naman, nagkakaroon sila ng body shape at lumalaki ang kanilang mga breast. Oops! Baka sabihin nyo, paano naman yung mga katamtaman lang ang laki ng breast ng isang babae? Dumaan ba sila sa puberty? Siyempre naman oo. At kung may magkaibang pagbabago ang lalaki at babae, may pagkakapareho din. Ito ay ang buhok natin sa underarm at ang pubic hair. Now, let's proceed to the second topic, development of sexual organs in the embryo and fetus. The female sex is considered the fundamental sex because if a particular chemical prompting is absent, all fertilized eggs will be developed into females. For a fertilized egg to become male, a cascade of chemical reactions must be present initiated by a single gene in the male Y chromosome called SRY, or the sex-determining region for Y chromosome. Female do not have any Y chromosome, hence they do not have the SRY gene. Both the male and female embryos have the same group of cells and will potentially develop into male and female gonads or sex gland. However, the presence of the SRY gene initiates the development of the testes while suppressing the vital genes for female development. Ang sabi dito, female sex is a fundamental sex kapag may absence ng... alamin natin yan mamaya. But for now, alamin muna natin kung ano ang XX chromosomes at XY chromosomes. Ang female ay mayroong XX chromosomes at ang male ay mayroong XY chromosomes. Hindi ba kayo nagtataka? Paano nalaman ang sex ng isang tao? Ikaw, hindi ka ba na-curious kung paano nalaman ang sex mo? Ang nanay o ang babae ay kaya lang magbigay ng X chromosome. Pero ang tatay, kaya niya magbigay ng 2 chromosomes. Kaya niya magbigay ng X chromosome for female at Y chromosome for male. Ngayon, kung kaya magbigay ng lalaki ng 2 chromosomes, paano nalalaman kung ano ang active sa 2 chromosomes na ito? Sex-determining region Y or the SRY gene is to determine the sex of an embryo or the future genital. Pero itong sa SRY gene is focus niya ang Y chromosome. In short, focus niya ang pagkakaroon ng male sex. Meron tayong chart dito para malaman natin kung paano gumagana ang SRY gene na ito. Mag-focus muna tayo sa side na to. Sabi ko nga kanina, SRY gene is to determine the sex of an embryo or the future genitals. Dito sa side na to, kapag present ang SRY gene, mabubuo ang testes. Uulitin ko, kapag present ang SRY gene, mabubuo ang testes. Ang testes naman ay mayroong presence ng 2 hormone. Ito ay ang testosterone at MIS. Itong testosterone, part siya para makabuo ng male reproductive structures. Si MIS naman o si Mullerian Inhibiting Substance, anti siya kay Mullerian hormone. Which means si Mullerian duct kasi, part siya para makabuo ng female reproductive organs. At si Wolffian duct naman is part din siya para makabuo ng male reproductive structure. So dito sa slide na to, present ang dalawang hormones, ang testosterone at ang MIS. Sabi ko nga kanina, si Wolffian ducts is part siya para makabuo ng male reproductive organ. Isipin na lang natin na magkaibigan si Wolffian ducts tsaka si testosterone. Di ba kayo, pagkasama nyo yung kaibigan nyo or yung best friend nyo sa isang klase, ang saya parang gusto nyong mag-aral ng mabuti, ganon, kasi may kasama kayo. Ganon din ang pakiramdam ni Wolffian ducts. Kapag na-detect niya si testosterone, makakabuo na ng male reproductive structure. Bakit? Kasi pareho silang part para makabuo ng reproductive structures. Kapag pareho silang present, or kapag na-detect ni Wolffian duct na nandiyan si testosterone, asahan ang makakabuo ng male reproductive structures. Dito naman tayo sa presence of MIS. So sabi ko nga kanina, anti-Mullerian ducts si MIS. So kung si Wolffian ducts tsaka si testosterone ay magkaibigan, isipin na lang natin na si Mullerian ducts tsaka si MIS ay magkaaway naman. Kapag ikaw, kasama mo sa klase yung kaaway mo, di ba nakakawalang gana? Ganon din ang naramdaman ni Mullerian ducts. Kasi nga sabi ko kanina, si Mullerian ducts is part siya para makabuo ng female reproductive structures. So kapag na-detect niya na present si MIS, magkakaroon ng regression kasi andun yung anti si MIS, diba? Para hindi matuloy yung female reproductive structures. So magkakaroon ng regression. Ibig sabihin, hindi na matutuloy yung female reproductive structures. So dito sa part na to, ang nabuo natin or ang naging active is ang male sex. Ngayon, dito naman tayo sa kabilang side. Kung sa kabilang side, kapag present ang SRY gene, makakabuo ng testes. Pero dito naman sa side na to, para makabuo ng ovaries, kailangan absent ang SRY gene. Kasi nga, ang SRY gene is for Y chromosomes only. Naalala niyo pa ba yung sinabi ko kanina, yung may pabitin, na ang sabi ko, female sex is a fundamental sex kapag absent ang, ito na yun, kapag absent ang SRY gene. So kung absent ang SRY gene, syempre absent din yung dalawang hormone. Ito ay ang testosterone at MIS. So sa part naman na to, sabi ko kanina, magkaibigan si Wolffian duct at saka si testosterone. Kapag andyan silang dalawa, na-detect ni Wolffian ducts na ay, andyan si testosterone. Sure na makakagawa ng male reproductive structures. Pero, dito sa side na to, kabaliktaran ang nangyari. Hindi na-detect ni Wolffian ducts yung kaibigan niya, which is si testosterone. So, dahil doon nagkaroon ng regression, at dahil wala yung isang part para makabuo ng male reproductive structures, hindi na matutuloy yung pagbubuo nila nito kasi wala na eh. Wala si testosterone eh. Hindi na-detect ni Wolffian duct. Kung si Wolffian ducts is naging parang hindi siya naging natuwa nung hindi niya na-detect si testosterone, nagkaroon ng regression. Dito naman kay Mullerian ducts, natuwa siya kasi hindi niya na-detect si MIS. Kasi nga 'di ba si MIS anti. So natuwa si Mullerian ducts kasi hindi niya na-detect si MIS. Kasi si MIS 'di ba hadlang para makabuo siya ng female reproductive structures. Ngayon dito sa side na to, hindi niya na-detect si MIS. So ang mangyayari, makakabuo na siya ng female reproductive structures. So dito na po nagtatapos ang report ko. Sana may natutunan po kayo.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmate. I am the second reporter of Group 5. My report is future sexual development occurs at puberty. What is puberty? Puberty is the stage of the development at which individuals become sexually mature. The outcome of puberty is different for boys and girls, but hormonal process is similar. Moreover, the timing of these changes varies for every individual. The sequence of changes for boys and girls is predictable, resulting in the adult the physical characteristic and capacity to reproduce. So, ano nga ba ang puberty? Ang puberty ay pinagdadaanan nating lahat. Pero, merong tinatawag na precious and early puberty, which is disorder. Yung precious puberty is yun yung late na-develop or late puberty process. So, sa puberty stages is nade-develop yung sexually mature natin at ang puberty ay magkaiba sa babae at lalaki. Pero yung hormonal similar. Why? Kasi sa different for girls and boys, which is yung sa lalaki is yung sa physical appearance pa lang is magkaiba na. Ang mga doktor may pamantayan sila sa pagbibinata at pagdadalaga. Binibase nila ito sa Tanner or may mga stages. May lamang stages ang puberty. Sa mga stages nito, nakikita ang pagbabago ng hormone physical. Si Prof. James Tanner, a child development expert, ang unang nag-identify or pinapakita dito kung ano yung visible stages of puberty. Ngayon, ito ay kilala sa tawag na Tanner stages or more appropriately sexual maturity things rating. They serve to guide physical development. Puberty stages in girls and boys. So, sa stage 1, approximately between ages of 8 and 11, the ovaries enlarge and hormone production start, but external development is not yet visible. Stage 1 for boys, approximately between ages of 9 and 12, no visible signs of development occur, but internally, male hormones become a lot of active. Stage 2, approximately between the age of 14 and the external sign puberty is usually breast development. The first buds develop. The nipples will tender and elevated. The first stages of pubic hair may also be present at this time. Stage 2 sa boys, approximately between 9 to 15. Height increase and shape body changes. The areole, dark side around the nipple darkens and increase the size. So dito makikita natin sa stage 2 is dito na nag-start yung pag-puberty or ito na yung ganap na stages para sa pagtungtong mo sa puberty. Dito na makikita sa babae yung breast buds development. Nag-uumpisa na siya. So, dito na rin nag-start na tubuan tayo ng buhok sa kilikili or sa private part. So, sa lalaki naman, dito na nag-start magbago yung height nila or tumatangkad na sila. Tsaka yung shape body changes. So, sa lalaki is mas lumalapad yung balikat nila. Then, mas nagkakaroon na sila ng muscle or anything. Stage 3 in girls. So, approximately between ages of 9 and 15. Breast growth continues, pubic hair gets coarser, darker. During this stage, whitish discharge from vagina may be present. For some girls, the first menstrual begins at this time. So, stage 3 for boys. Approximately between 11 and 16, the penis start grow during this stage. Pubic hair getting darker and coarser and spreading to where the legs meet torso. So, dito na nag-i-start na yung breast ay continuous na lumalaki. At dito na rin nag-i-start na whitish discharge from vagina may be present. So, ibig sabihin, dito na, kumbaga, yung white means. So, the penis starts grow during this stage. Dito na rin, nag-i-start na lumaki yung penis ng isang lalaki at humaba. The pubic hair ay mas lalong nagiging darker at coarser. Stage 4, approximately from ages to 16. Some of girls, their areoles get even darker, separate into little mound, rising above the rest of the breast. Pubic hair may begin to have more adult triangular pattern of growth. If it did not happen, stage 3, menarche, first menstruation shall start now. Ovulation start, but it will not necessarily occur regular basis. It's possible regular even if ovulation not occur every month. So dito sa girls is napapansin na natin nagiging darker na yung areolas natin. Yung areolas is yun yung nakapaligid sa breast natin. So dito na rin yung pubic hair natin is nagiging triangular, and ang ovulation start ay pwede nang mabuntis ang isang babae. So yung sa lalaki, for boys naman, approximately 11 to 17. At this time, start grow in width. The testicle and scrotum also continue to grow. Hair may begin grow on the anus. The texture, the penis becomes more adult-looking. Other arm and facial hair increase as well. The first fertile ejaculations typically appear approximately 15 years age, but this age can vary widely individuals boys. Skin gets oilier and voice continues to deepen. So dito sa stages na to is nag-start na yung penis na lumaki at humaba yung testicle. Stage 5 for girls, approximately between 12 and 19. This, the final stage development, full height reach at young women are ovulation regularly. Pubic hair is filled and breasts are developed fully for the body. For boys, approximately between 18 boys reach full adult pubic hair. Genitals look like a man's do. At this point, shaving is necessary. And some young men continue to grow past this point even into their 20s. Dito na yung final stages or totally developed na lahat ng nasa ibang stage. Are the erogenous zones of the body. So merong dalawang klase ng erogenous zones body, the specific and the non-specific. So the skin serves the primary erotic stimuli. Types of erogenous skin, Winkelmann 2004. So dito may dalawa tayong types ng erogenous zones skin. Dito natin malalaman kung ano yung dalawa na yon. The non-specific type, similar in any other portion, usual haired skin. So ito yung karaniwan na balat na may buhok. For example, armpit, underarm, axilla. So letter B, the nerve supplying encompass the usual density of dermal nerve networks and hair follicles network. So for example, thorax, chest. The learned anticipated pleasurable sensations when a stimulus is presented. In these regions produce amplified sensations. Letter D, the pleasurable sensation felt from this region simply the pleasurable sensation felt from this region is this simplified and exaggerated form of tickle. Example of this type skin are the side and the back of the neck, axilla, armpit, the sides of thorax, chest. So itong specific types, it is found mucocutaneous region of the body, or those region made van mucous membrane continuous skin. This region favor for acute perception. The specific sites acute sensation are the genital regions, including the female external vulva, the perineal skin, lips, nipples. So yan yung mga specific type.
Hi guys, this is Jazz and I am the reporter of this topic. So before ako mag-start, be open-minded tayo dito guys. Thank you. Understanding the human sexual response. What is the sexual response cycle? The sexual response cycle refers to the sequence of physical and emotional occurrence when the person is participating in a sexual and stimulating activity, such as intercourse or masturbation. So there's 4 phases of human sexual response cycle. First, excitement. Second, plateau. Third, orgasm. And last is resolution. The first phase, excitement. Muscle tension increases. Dito, syempre mag-exert tayo ng energy, kaya yung muscle tension natin is tumataas. Heart rate quickens and breathing is accelerated. Dito naman, dahil nga sa excitement, bumibilis na yung tibok ng puso mo, pati yung paghinga mo kasi nadadala na kayo ng, what you call this, horny. Next, nipples become hardened or erect. So, here's the example, itong lobo. Yun nga, dahil nga nadadala na kayo, nag-response yung body mo, which is nipples become hardened or erect. Tumatayo. Next, vaginal lubrication begins. So, ito ulit example. Dahil nga nadadala na kayo sa mga nangyayari, may response syempre yung body mo sa nararamdaman mong pleasure. So, sa babae, so dahil nga nadadala na sila sa mga nangyayari, nag-response na dahil sa pleasure na nararamdaman. Next phase is plateau. The woman's clitoris become highly sensitive. Yung clitoris kasi is ito yung pinaka-pleasurable part ng babae. Next, breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure continue to increase. Dito nga, yung paghinga mo, mas mabilis na. And continue to increase. The man's testicles are withdrawn up into the scrotum. It is like a man is doing a masturbation. So for the third phase of the human sexual response cycle, orgasm, climax of the sexual response cycle. Ito na yung part na katulad nito sa example ko, pag sa, kunyari, kayo, withdraw nyo na, pasok kayo ng ATM, syempre may lalabas na pera. Yan, utukan na. Next, the feeling of intense pleasure that happens during sexual activity. Ito, pleasurable part happens during sexual activity. Nakaraos na kayo. Next, blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing are. So, dito, yun nga, yung blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing are at their highest rate. Na, it's like naghahabol ka na ng hininga dahil kasi nga, nakaraos na. Dito napapasok yung resolution, which is the fourth phase of human sexual response cycle. Body slowly returns to its normal functioning level. Dito sa part na to, syempre, after climax, yung body natin is magka-calm down na. Next, the swelled and erect body parts return to their previous size and color. So, dahil nga, the body so returns to its time functioning, pati yung mga parts of body natin, babalik na sa dating size at kulay. Next, this phase is marked by a general sense of well-being. Intimacy is enhanced and often fatigues sets in. So, after doing sexual activity, doon na papasok yung pagkapagod. Refractory period. So, during refractory period, a person might lose interest in sex or they might not be able to have sex. So, kadalasan, di ba, after ng sexual intercourse, matutulog na kayo. So, yun. Thank you.
Lesson 6, Sexual Self, Sex and Brain, What Parts Are Involved? Primarily, sex is the process of combining male and female genes to form an offspring. However, complex systems of behavior have evolved the sexual process from its primary purpose of reproduction to motivation and reward circuit that root sexual behaviors. Ultimately, the largest sex organ controlling the biological urges, mental process, as well as the emotional and physical responses to sex is the brain. There are 5 rules of the brain in sexual activity. First, the brain is responsible for translating the nerve impulses sensed by skin into sensation. Second, it controls the nerve and muscles used in sexual activities. Third, sexual thoughts and fantasies are theorized to lie in the cerebral cortex, the same area used for thinking and reasoning. Fourth, emotions and feelings which are important for sexual behavior are believed to originate in the limbic system. 5. The brain releases the hormones considered as the physiological origin of sexual desire. Roles of hormones in sexual activity. The hypothalamus is the most important part of the brain for sexual functioning. This small area at the base of the brain has several groups of nerve cells bodies that receive input from the limbic system. One reason the hypothalamus is important in human sexual activity is its relation to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland secretes the hormones produced in the hypothalamus. There are 5 hormones involved in sexual activity. 1. Oxytocin. It is also known as the love hormone and believed to be involved in our desire to maintain close relationship. It is released during the sexual intercourse when orgasm is achieved. 2. Follicle stimulating hormone or FSH. It is responsible for ovulation in females. The National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences in Durham, NC, discovered that sexual activity was more frequent during women's fertile time. 3. Luteinizing hormone or LH. The LH is crucial in regulating the testes in men and ovaries in women. In men, the LH stimulates the testes to produce testosterone. In males, testosterone appears to be a major contributing factor for sexual motivation. 4. Vasopressin. Vasopressin is involved in the male arousal phase. The increase of vasopressin during erectile response is believed to be directly associated with increased motivation to engage in sexual behavior. 5. Estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone typically regulate motivation to engage in sexual behavior for females, with estrogen increasing motivation and progesterone decreasing it. Thank you. Lesson 6, Sexual Self, Understanding the Chemistry of Lust, Love, and Attachment. Falling in love can be a beautifully wild experience. It is a rushing longing, passion, and euphoria. Fast forward a few years, the excitement would have died down, though the level vary for every couple. For couples who remain together through the years, the rush would have been replaced by a warm, comfortable, and nurturing feeling. Each stage of the cycle can actually be explained by your brain chemistry, the neurotransmitter that gets stimulated to release hormone throughout your body. Anthropologist Helen Fisher proposed three stages of falling in love, and for each stage, a different set of chemicals ran the show. The 3 stages of falling in love are lust, attraction, and attachment. Lust or erotic passion. This stage is marked by physical attraction. You want to seduce and be seduced by your object of affection. Lust is driven by testosterone in men and estrogen in women. Lust, however, will not guarantee that couple will fall in love in a long-lasting way. Second, attraction or romantic passion. At this stage, you begin to crave for your partner's presence. You feel excitement and energetic as you fantasize about the things you could do together as a couple. Three chemicals trigger this feeling: norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. Norepinephrine is responsible for the extra surge of energy and triggers increased heart rate, loss of appetite, as well as desire to sleep. Your body is in a more alert state and is ready for action. Dopamine, associated with motivation and goal-directed behavior. It makes you pursue your object of affection. It creates a sense of novelty where the person seems exciting, special, or unique that you want to tell the world about his or her admirable qualities. Third is the serotonin, thought to cause obsessive thinking. Low levels of serotonin are said to be present in people with obsessive-compulsive behavior or OCD. Meanwhile, a study found that those who expressed they were in love and people with OCD both had less serotonin transporter in their blood compared to those who did not. Third is the serotonin, thought to cause obsessive thinking. Low levels of serotonin are said to be present in people with obsessive-compulsive behavior or OCD. Meanwhile, a study found that those who expressed they were in love and people with OCD both had less serotonin transporter in their blood compared to those who did not express they were in love and do not have OCD as well. The third stage is the attachment or commitment. Attachment involves the desire to have a long-lasting commitment with your significant other. At this point, you may want to get married and or have children. Psychological aspects of sexual desire. Sexual desire is typically viewed as an interest in sexual objects or activities. More precisely, it is a subjective feeling of wanting to engage in sex. Sexual desire is sometimes, but not always, accompanied by genital arousal. Sexual desire can be triggered by a large variety of cues and situations, including private thoughts, feelings, fantasies, erotic materials such as books, movies, photographs, and a variety of erotic environment, situation, or social interaction. Sexual desire is often confused with sex drive, but these are fundamentally different constructs. Sex drive represents a basic biological mediated motivation to seek sexual activity or gratification. In contrast, sexual desire represents a more complex psychological experience that is not dependent on hormonal factors. Gender differences and sexual desires. Factors that influence the notable gender difference on sexual desires includes culture, social environment, and even political situations. One of the most notable gender differences on sexual desire is that women place a great emphasis on interpersonal relationship as part of an experience. Male, on the other hand, enjoy a more casual sexual behavior. Physiological mechanism of sexual behavior motivation. Much of what we know about physiological mechanism that underlies sexual behavior and motivation came from animal research. The hypothalamus plays an important role in motivated behaviors, and sex is no exception. Laboratory rats that were physiologically incapable of coupling were observed to be nevertheless seek receptive females. These findings suggested that the ability to engage in sexual behavior and the motivation to do so may be mediated by different systems in the brain. Animal research suggests that limbic system structures such as the amygdala and nucleus accumbens are especially important for sexual motivations. Amygdala is the integrative center of emotion, emotional behavior, and motivations. Nucleus accumbens, also referred to as pleasure center, plays a role in motivation and cognitive processes of aversion. It has a significant role in response to reward and reinforcing effects, translating emotional stimulus into behaviors.